I think the strategy that's probably the most worthwhile is resilience.
Most technical challenges are the easier portion of it. You put a lot of smart people, only get a whiteboard and they'll figure it out. But see, other pieces of it that ends up being your leaky bucket.
When you do have the event, okay, now the clock is ticking how fast you get back. And then we have something we call a rehydrate. Bring the entire OS back from bare metal, restore the user's profile, and get that machine functional again, all remotely, all in under 30 minutes.
Now you take that 10x when there's actually an incident or some sort of scenario where the services is interrupted. Those emotions just get enhanced. And folks typically struggle making really good decisions. So that muscle memory piece of it is so important.
When DevOps came out like 10 years ago, I thought that cybersecurity people were going to be coders first and security people second, because we're going to automate all that. We didn't do that.
We're going to have to use AI to get us to do, things that click the guardrails. You have to use that new technology for the purposes of good and defense. You can't be using the proverbial knife in the gunfight.
Most of the AI CISOs say artificial general intelligence is 3 to 5 years away. In 3 to 5 years, there's going to be AI agents that are as good or better than people for everything. So that's going to be the inflection point. Welcome everybody to Cooking with CISOs, another great episode. My name is Rick Howard. I am the CEO of the all-volunteer nonprofit Cybersecurity Cannon Project. And I'm here with my two new friends, okay, Aftab and John. Excellent cybersecurity people, and they're gonna cook 2 meals for you today. So John, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm John Herrema, the Chief Product Officer at Absolute Security, and I'm going to be making lasagna today, and I'll be working in some metaphors about sort of the layers that you need to build up to have a good resilience strategy, but also there's...
Sounds like a metaphor.
Yeah, it sounds like a metaphor. And there's also, maybe it's a simile, I don't know, I always get that confused, but so somebody will correct, we'll look at the chat later and we'll find out, I guess, but also a little bit of a personal connection there, because in my family you got to pick which you had on your birthday, and it was always mom's lasagna for me. So there's a little connection there as well. So
excellent. Aftab.
Thanks. Aftab Banth, it's cyber executive at a really large social media company, and I'm cooking chicken fried rice.
The reason I'm over here in this section is because I cannot cook, right? So I am looking forward for you to show me how to do it. That's my favorite thing to eat. Right?
Well, I can't cook either. For some reason, my kids like this, and so I figured give it a shot. But yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so let's get started. So
what could go wrong, right?
Nothing's going to go wrong. Okay, that's going to be fabulous, right? So how do you get started with yours, John? What are we going to do here?
Well, I might have to cheat and look at my recipe, but I'm going to be starting with the kind of ricotta cheese, like the filling piece. So that's going to be kind of my first step, and then I'm going to move to, I don't know, I got to get some pasta. Anyway, but that's
the first step is over here?
Step is,
we're doing 2 things at once, Aftab, so what are you doing first, and do I need to help somehow?
Yeah, no, the key to this dish is really kind of the ingredients very nicely important.
Okay.
Make you're too chunky or whatnot, then my kids don't.
All right, well, let's get started. All right, so you guys start doing the first step.
Downtime is no longer a side effect of cyber incidents. It is the outcome attackers are aiming for. When systems are disrupted or wiped, security controls often fail with them. Visibility disappears, access breaks, operations slow or stop. Security has focused heavily on prevention, but prevention alone does not hold up under failure. When software is compromised, control is lost. Resilience, below the operating system, is the missing link in cybersecurity. It's the operational capability that preserves control, even when disruption happens. This is where Absolute is fundamentally different. Absolute is embedded in the firmware of hundreds of millions of devices worldwide. Firmware persistence is built in, not bolted on. Even if a device is re-imaged, reset, or tampered with, Absolute remains present and trusted below the OS. That persistence becomes the foundation for resilience. With Absolute, organizations maintain continuous visibility, enforce trusted access, and automatically restore critical security controls across endpoints and users. This is not about reacting faster after an incident. It is about never losing control in the first place. Absolute brings together endpoint resilience, secure access, and recovery to to help organizations limit downtime and protect business continuity. Cyber resilience is no longer optional. It is essential. Absolute. Cyber resilience that stops downtime.
The velocity is a lot faster. That was the biggest shock.
I was a CSO of a cybersecurity vendor, and your CISO was a cybersecurity vendor also. And that's a different job than just being a traditional CISO.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how you guys approach that. Do you use him at all? Or?
So, and there's a couple aspects. For one, he's customer zero. So there's the whole sounding board of we're building things. Are they practical? How would you think about buying, deploying all those things? But he also has the challenge of we have to make sure that our products and our operations are secure in our production environment for our customers. And we have all the usual things you would have if any organization from that kind of internal. So he's really got sort of three hats, and we collaborate very tightly to make sure the products are secure, to make sure our operations are secure as a company.
How are you doing over here?
Yeah,
You still cutting?
I am. I think we're almost to the end. Like I said, it has to be really fine, otherwise, hey, my kid don't like it.
I think the secret is if you get it fine enough, they don't realize there's actually vegetables.
Actually, that's a good point. That's a very good point. When I joined Palo Alto Networks, internal product people were also the internal security team because it was small back then. Now it's this giant company, right? And so they were very passionate about how the product works. I'm sure you get that with your guys. So.
Yeah, we actually do this thing every week where the folks who are actually using the product, we sit down and we're going through, all the metrics, all the dashboards, all things, just again, the way we operationally utilize it to make ourselves better. And so we're just constantly getting that real-time feedback.
Often you were the security guy for a social media company. How is that different than, say, a vendor guy or a bank or anything else?
The velocity is a lot faster. That was the biggest shock for me. And not only just I think the lockdown, the velocity in terms of the size of the organization and how fast it moved, but just the velocity in terms of how quickly different countries were asking us for different type of regulations to adhere to. Right? And there was in certain instances where it felt as if they were targeting us. So that was very unique.
Social media is relatively new, right? And there's not that many of them out there. So that's a unique experience, right?
What is customer trust here? And that was a big one. When you think about customer trust, it's just crown jewels. But for us, it was thinking about something as simple as how we display or certain aspects of our security posture within that app, right? So there's a number of areas that, again, you do have some level of influence over products, but just really thinking about how did that trust extend to billions of people across us. Most technical challenges are the easier portion of it.
That's true.
You put a lot of smart people only get a whiteboard and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? But see, other pieces of it that ends up being your leaky bucket.
So Aftab, you're cutting up the chicken now, is that what this is, right? And that goes right into the bowl when you get that done too?
It will, yeah. Well, yeah, and then everything, I'm pretty much done cutting, just a few more onions and we'll start cooking.
All right.
Put it all together, hopefully it comes out okay.
So let's say there's some massive attack against our organization. I want to be able to push a button and move my Amazon instance from the Northwest over to Singapore so fast that nobody notices.
It has to be a big part of your strategy, right? You have to think about it in what are the buckets and how do you enhance that, right? Like maturity model. I find personally, most technical challenges are the easier portion of it.
That's true.
You put a lot of smart people only get a whiteboard and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? But see, other pieces of it that ends up being your leaky bucket, right? And I'm a big process guy. It's not to say that you have to have processes, but have the muscle memory. So when that moment does or when that time comes, that allows us to execute at a high level. So it's not only just muscle memory of what to do, but also the calmness of, hey, the emotional portion of it goes away, right? And I find that those are the areas early in my career that I under-indexed on. Right? But now, as I've gone through a number of these scenarios where the muscle memory was not there, you find in the time of crisis, person X, who's a great human being, they don't really do well with the intensity in terms of the moment.
So are you advocating the practice?
Tabletop exercise, whatever that looks like for an organization.
There you go, yeah.
100%, right? Folks, again, even in a scenario that they know is an exercise, they'll get flustered. And now you take that 10x when there's actually an incident or some sort of scenario where the services is interrupted. Those emotions just get enhanced. And folks typically struggle making really good decisions. So that muscle memory piece of it is so important. The technical stuff, yeah. I mean, there'll always be gaps. I've never had a scenario where there's a RCA that we had no action items on. So that's fine, and you can always execute on that. But the muscle memory and the process portion of it, it's so important.
I think the strategy that's probably the most worthwhile is resilience. You can make the case that all those tools that we've purchased over the last 20 years haven't really solved the problem, that we're still in the same situation that we were before. John Zabinder, what do you think?
Your prevention strategy is never going to be perfect. Your detection strategy can get close to real time. But I think we are seeing the shift, and even in the CISO role, to this notion of like, I'm actually the resilience officer for the organization, and the idea that
Now you're in my wheelhouse. Let's go.
you have to shift to the mindset. I have to do my protect now because I do my detection. The thing I'm actually going to be measured on is downtime. What was the business impact? So the thing that we're seeing is this understanding that if I don't have the recovery side at equally or more covered, then I'm really not hitting on the right metric.
We had to do some shuffling around so that we could start cooking in different places. John, what do you got going on over here?
So I'm ready to build up the layers of my lasagna, and much like having a good resilience framework, it's all about the base.
Spoken like a true salesman.
I got my firmware layer here, and that's what's creating the fundamental resilience. And so I'm going to build up all my layers from there. So I've got my unbreakable visibility control. We're going to put the security controls in there.
Got it.
We're going to put a layer of self-healing, my layer of patching and vulnerability. So if anything unexpected comes along, we can take care of that.
Make sure you prioritize for
Yeah, exactly. When it's all done, I'm going to have my fail-safe, my rehydrate capability I was talking about. So if it goes completely wrong, I'm just going to hit the magic button with a firmware pan, and it will start the whole damn thing over a day.
Are you a resilience guy in your thinking?
You have to be.
But here at the end of my career,
Okay.
I think the strategy that's probably the most worthwhile is resilience.
Okay.
And the things you have to do to be resilient are completely different from the things you have to do if you're going to do a zero trust strategy or a intrusion kill chain strategy or defense in depth strategy. Resilience is backups and restores and crisis management. It's not firewalls and intrusion detections and endpoint things. And I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Resilience is a function of muscle memory, right?
Yep.
It's not only about the technical aspects of the controls, because you could find great partners to help you with that, but like, do you have that muscle memory, right? Do your teams know what's needed to be done? Do they know how to act in this time of crisis? Do your executive team all in alignment of what the process is going to be like? That's muscle memory. So resilience, yes, the technical piece of it, there's a lot of good partners you would find. But I think the part that gets overlooked is, does your team have that muscle memory?
We have a mistake. Something's going on, something we don't know about. I want to push a button and solve it now before anybody notices. Right?
When we think about it from a product perspective, something we're really excited about is that a big part of our value proposition is to be able to do self-healing. So we're embedded in the firmware of 600 million PCs out there. We have this firmware agent that can basically guarantee that the OS agent we have is always deployed, always operational. What that lets us do is monitor all the other security controls on that endpoint. And if we see something that's not there, it's not running, so on, we can repair it. One of the things that happens when we go to do repairs, sometimes like you're trying to run this flow and it just fails. And then we report back and we say, well, that then. What we're starting to build into our product, that layer, is so now imagine you have an agent that's running that workflow.
Because it automatically could figure this out.
Well, and yes, that notion of being able to use adaptability to, like I ran into this very prosaic failure case, I actually know what I could do to fix it. Maybe I'll alert you and say, hey, is it okay if I apply this remediation so we can get through that?
To your point, John, I want to be able to push a button. We have a mistake. Something's going on, something we don't know about. I want to push a button and solve it now before anybody notices. Right?
Yeah, the fundamental aspect of our products is resilience. On one hand, we're making sure that the tools you're relying on to maybe prevent or detect are always deployed, always operational, always running. Because if you think about resilience, that's a measure of how fast you snap back from something bad that happens. But if you never have the bad thing happen, that's actually infinite resilient. That's perfect. That's the perfect score on that metric because you avoided the downtime. Then the other key thing is that when you do have the event, okay, now the clock is ticking how fast you get back. And the super cool thing we're able to do there, we have something we call rehydrate. And what that allows us to do is we can actually intervene pre-boot and we can either perform a surgical repair or bring the entire OS back from bare metal, restore the user's profile and get that machine functional again, all remotely, all in under 30 minutes.
Aftab, what do you got to do?
So I'm finally all set. I got the rice, I got the chicken, I got the onions and
The healthy stuff.
The healthy
Like
stuff, yeah.
that is the healthy.
the healthy stuff, yeah, but that's where the flavor comes.
Seriously,
whatever
you say.
So now it's about just put everything together, cook the chicken a bit, and then I'll put it all together and hopefully it turns out okay. We don't get sick eating.
So, well, you don't. Now you had to say that on camera. We're here because the RSA conference is going on, right? And we're all veterans of the RSA conference. What's the big theme this year?
Well, there's this crazy thing called AI.
What?
Which
I've never heard of it before. Tell me more. John, while we were shuffling, you were talking about a meeting you had with one of your sales guys about how he's taken on the idea of vibe coding, I'm going to call it, right? To build himself a tool that nobody else has. Walk us through that.
His name is Dixon, and it's just super cool because this is first without anybody asking him or responding to do it. He put together on this project where he defines 4 or 5 skills that he wanted to have, agents, and basically the idea was how can I do better research on my customers, correlate that back to real problems and needs that they have based on material and things that they've spoken about, the industry they're coming from, connecting that back to what we can do with our products. So pulling an aspect of our internal materials, doing that all, clearly, and producing this really amazing output with this center, this very customized and very, personal and custom oriented presentation about, look, this is how you think we can help.
Was he a coder before he did that?
No,
he just took to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Aftab, you had to work for this. They're not programmers. They're
No, it's the AI native employee. What I've seen is that everyone wants to do that, but they're scared of saying, I don't know how, right? And so making it okay, say, look, I know I should be using AI, I just don't know how. And it's not only just prompting ChatGPT or Anthropic and getting some results, but understanding its limitations, building around that, thinking about how to build multi-agents or skills. It's all new technology, and so for us to share and say, it's okay, we're gonna learn this together, it can be powerful because it is transformative. Let me give you a scenario, right? If Silicon Valley is synopsis with the coding interview, right? Doesn't matter what company you go to, they're gonna put you through a coding interview, and so everyone's preparing for that. And now if you have an LLM that's gonna do the coding, what skill set is needed? And so you'll have an interview that how well can you maybe review code or how well do you prompt the all of it?
We're now obviously moving beyond that. So now I think what that's going to put more into is, well, now how well can we ensure that the quality, the scalability, the performance of that output. So that's going to shift this needle set a little bit more in that direction. And then I think it's going to kind of shift to design. So what will really matter is, because what these models aren't great at is actually fundamental design, architecture, things like that. And so I think that skill set is going to kind of shift more, around that circle, because it's a cycle.
I think we race to problems that have always been 10 to 20 years away. I think we get there a lot faster once we get to AGI. So let me figure out where we are in the cooking thing. You just put the lasagna in the oven, yes? And how long are we cooking that for?
I think it's 35 minutes or so. We have some garlic bread, we'll toss that in with about 10 minutes to go.
And now you're putting honey on our...
No, this is sesame seed oil. So we just mixed everything together, put the soy sauce, put the garlic butter, put some sesame oil, mix it up, and then we'll be set to go. Maybe another few more minutes.
So we are senior cybersecurity pundits. What's the next 5 years? Okay, let's do some forecasting here.
Wow.
But all of a sudden, I saw the blood drain out of your face.
I think in the short term, maybe a couple of years, we'll see a fundamental shift, specifically around what cyber looks like, the problems we're seeing.
The notion of force multiplier, these agents. They're going to be talking to other agents across corporate boundaries. So I think for me, the big part of that evolution is going to be the concept of how do we build identity and trust and the right types of controls. And that's where we're gonna have to use AI to get us to do the things that put the guardrails. You have to use that new technology, for the purposes of good and defense. You can't be using the proverbial knife in the gunfight.
Well, let me tell you my concern. Most of the AI CIOs say artificial general intelligence is 3 to 5 years old. There's going to be AI agents that are as good or better than people for everything. So that's going to be the inflection point. But I think we race to problems that have always been 10 to 20 years away. Talking about quantum computing, we're talking about the singularity. I think we get there a lot faster once we get to AGI. So we're getting close to the end, and looks like we can almost taste test it.
All right. So
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Don't lie to me.
No, man. Excuse me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's really good. That's amazing, man.
I think the lasagna is about ready. Jazz, let's take a look and see if it's ready to come out. It's ready. All right, drum roll, please.
See the expression, if you're looking, you're not cooking. So let's see what.
Ooh, that looks pretty good. All right, looks pretty good. All right, let's take a bite, guys.
All right, let's give it a shot.
I'm doing lasagna first.
On top, you can come and cook in my house any day. So this is amazing.
Man, that lasagna is fantastic. Nicely done, Cheryl. They're very dim, but they go together, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Seriously.
So that's it for us, right? This is the end of one more Cooking with CISOs show. Thank you guys, John. I appreciate it. Aftab, you've been
welcome.
fantastic.
Thank you.
New friends developed. I love it.
Absolutely,
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you all later.
Appreciate it. No.